Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Abu Joseph. So in this video I'll be sharing with you how you can basically create a thumbnail design for a YouTube channel using Photoshop. Okay, our main focus here has to do with the niche on which we'll be designing the thumbnail for. So we are designing a thumbnail for a finance niche, so it is expected of us to use resources that can actually relate with people in finance in particular. So please, if you're interested, do well to give the video a like before starting, and do well to join the community. If you're coming across the channel for the very first time, smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification to get notification whenever we upload new content. And for our returning subscribers, thank you guys for always turning up. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. So we have to create a new file on which we'll be designing on, and we would like to set the unit of measurement in pixels. 1280 by 720 is the dimension of the width and height. Resolution can be set on either 100 or 300, depends on the specification of your PC. You can go ahead to set your color mode on RGB because this design will be used across digital platforms and mobile devices as well. So you can choose to give your project a name over here. Okay, leave other settings the way they are and click on the create. So here we have the canvas. The first thing I would like to do is to bring in the resources I'll be using to create the design. So guys, here are the resources I'll be using to create this design. Do well to check the video description. You find the link to them in the video description. So the first phase of creating this design has to do with creating of the background, to be precise. So I have this image here and I would like to position this image around somewhere here. Moving on, creating a solid fill adjustment. Okay, and here's the hex code to the color I'm using over here. Click on OK, and I would like to reduce the opacity of this. Likewise, selecting the image layer and blur out some of the pixels out of focus so that the background can actually create room for contrast for the information we'll be placing in the foreground. Okay, so I think this blur radius is good enough, and we'll click on OK. So afterwards, I will head over to make a duplicate of the solid color by hitting Ctrl J, returning the opacity back to 100. Select the mask layer, okay, and hit what they call it. Use the gradient tool over here. The keyboard shortcut to the gradient tool is called G. So make sure your foreground is set on black and make sure the white mask is selected. All you have to do is to left click and drag out like this. So the main essence of this is to create room for our focal image over here. So I can undo this by hitting Ctrl Z and redo this again. So I undo that and redo this again. So that's how I achieve this. Okay, so afterwards I can basically select these layers and group them. Okay, so I selected the first layer, holding shift select the last layer and hit Ctrl G to group them. So I will have to rename this by double clicking inside it and call this BG, which stands for the background. Okay, so moving on, we have to enable the subject image. This image was gotten from freepik.com. This was gotten from Google. Likewise, this was gotten from PNG Wings. The background, the image in the background was gotten from Google as well. So I would like to right click and convert this image to a smart object. By doing so, it basically allows you maintain image quality whenever you scale it out. So I hit Ctrl T to transform out and scale this image to around something like this. Okay, I think this is okay this way. So moving on, the next thing I would like to do here is to add more depth to the image. The image is so flat, so I'll head over to filter, apply a camera raw filter. So over here in the camera raw, I would like to enable the before and the after so that you have a good preview of what we are working on. Okay, so I'll start by working with the basics. Please take note that while working with this, there are no rules governing this. It is more of an eyeballing situation. You allow your eyes to guide you through the whole process. So the exposure, I need to dial down the exposure a little. Likewise, the contrast needs to be dialed down a little as well. This is more of an eyeballing situation. The highlights as well need to be boosted a little to around, let me see, slow and steady, and you get what you're looking for. Shadows as well need to be worked on. The white needs to be brightened up a little. Okay, the blacks as well need to be brightened up, not darkened. Okay, afterwards we'll go ahead with textures and increase the textures. So let me see around this works. Clarity, so around let me see what works. Okay, so afterwards we head over to details. You are done with basics, we head over to details to scale this up to around this. And let me see, noise, slow and steady, to control the amount of noise reduction on the image. And we'll head over to color mixer and work with the saturation. Over here on the saturation, I'd like to boost up the reds on this image a little bit to around let me see. Okay, the orange as well need to be boosted up as well. Likewise, the orange, sorry, the yellow needs to be boosted up as well. So afterwards, you can see the before and after of this image, and you can go ahead to click on the OK. So we have our image looking like this. So moving on, I would like to add a layer style to this so that this can glow. But before doing that, I have to create a layer beneath the subject image. So I'll select the background group, click on add new layer. Okay, pick your brush. Okay, the keyboard shortcut to picking your brush is B. So all I have to do is to come over here, okay, and select a value of this like this. Okay, here's the hex code. So all I have to do is to increase the size of my brush using the square bracket key beside the P button on my keyboard. And all I have to do, control the flows and opacity. Make sure you are working with a brush that is a soft round brush. The hardness should be on 0. Okay, so that's for that. Make sure the layer is selected. Come over here, left click once, left click twice. That's for that. Moving on, you can come over here again, change this to yellow. Okay, this works. Scale down the size of your brush using the square bracket key beside your P button. Left click once, left click twice. Okay, you can still scale it down again as well. Change the fill color of this to a bright white value. Scale it up and apply the adjustment here. Okay, so I can just apply it here. So after that, I'm good to go. So the next thing I have to do here is to select the subject image and apply a layer style. So I'll right click on the image, click on blending options, and wait for it to come up. Over here we have the layer style panel that comes up. So I would like to take my image this way so that you see the effect in real time. So I'll start by working with the strokes to be precise. So I'm still maintaining the color combination I used earlier. Here's the hex code to the color. I'm making use of a bright value of yellow. Click on OK. I would like to set the size on 1. Outside is the position. Color dodge is the blending mode, and opacity should be set around this as well. So afterward, move over to color, that is outer glow. So over here on outer glow, we'll set this on color dodge as well. This should be set around 35. Our fill color should be on white. What else? This should be set around to the fullest, the size of the glow, and this should be set on 50%. Moving on, we head over to inner glow and set this as follows. So we maintain the following settings here. Color dodge, opacity should be set on 35. This is the hex code to the color. I'm still maintaining the same value of yellow. What else? This should be scaled to around 161 in terms of size, range, and be set to around this. Afterwards, you click on OK. So in order to control the impact of this on this image, all you have to do now is to come over here, pick the move tool, and I would like to adjust this a little bit like this. Okay, so after that, I'll right click on the adjustment here. Okay, on the effect here, right click on it and click on create layers. So now the layers has been disconnected from this. So all I have to do here is to start with the stroke. So if I turn this off, the stroke goes off. So all I have to do is to select the stroke layer, add a mask, pick my brush tool, make sure the foreground is set on black. Black enables you to hide what is visible on a white layer. So I'll control the size and come over here and take out, control the size of your brush using the square bracket and take out this. Okay, control this out, take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out. Okay, so we are trying to control this. Likewise, we'll come over here to outer glow as well, add the marks. We control the amount of glow on these other ends as well. Okay, what else? For the inner glow, you can add the marks and as well take out at various places that shouldn't have that high amount of fill. Okay, so after we are done with that, we are good to go. So all you have to do here is to select the layers and group them. So I can select this layer, hold shift, select this and hit Ctrl G to group them, and I'll call them subjects. This will serve as the subject. That's for this. So the next thing I have to do is to start placing in the icons and the dollar bills. So I have to speed up the process. So over here I have grouped my images for the YouTube icon, and I applied a motion blur adjustment to it, and this is the percentage of blur I added to this image. So all I had to do was position them to various places and scaling them, then head over to filter, head over to blur and apply a motion blur. So you can then control the directions, okay, and increase the amount of blur you need to apply to the particular layer. So that's how I went about doing this to these two YouTube icons over here. Afterwards, I apply a hues and saturation adjustment to the image. Okay, now how do I go about doing that? I went over here to my adjustment, apply a hues and saturation and increase the saturation level and click on the clip mark. So all I have to do was to increase the saturation this way. You can see the impact. Okay, so that was how I was able to create this in particular. So I needed to also increase the saturation level of the image. I headed over to adjustment, apply hues and saturation, and apply a general hues and saturation to the whole image, to the whole design at once by doing this. So if I turn off this, is affecting the whole canvas. Okay, that was how I was able to achieve this hues and saturation too, to be precise. Okay, so for the dollar bills, I applied the same technique I used for this. Okay, make a duplicate of them, of the dollar bills, by hitting Ctrl J. Okay, if you hit Ctrl J, you make a duplicate. You can place them anywhere, rotate the angle, Ctrl T, rotate the angle, and apply the same amount of motion blur. So you have to select the layer, head over to filter, apply blur and motion blur, and you can control the angles and the amount of blur you want to use. Okay, for this, here are the settings I use for this. I set this as this, the distance as this as well. So there are no much hustle to this particular effect. So moving on, I added the text for the headline text. Okay, this is the main headline text for the design: 10 business to invest in 2025. So for this, I made use of a font called Nexa. That's the name of a font. Check the video description. You find the link to the font in the video description. For this as well, I gave it a feel of yellow to create room for contrast and at the same time emphasis. There is a hex code to the yellow I used. Okay, please take note of that. For this as well, I made emphasis using the same value of yellow. So all I had to do was to make a duplicate of this original layer here and change the fill for this to a value of black, and here is a hex code to the value of black I used over here. You can see it's 26, 26, 26. So I think we are almost done, and finally I created a rectangle for this purpose. Okay, so here I made use of a font called Autograph, while for this I make use of the Nexa font as well for this to create contrast in terms of the name and the name of the host. Okay, so I think after that I created this rectangle. How did I go about doing that? I selected the rectangle to the keyboard shortcut is U, created a rectangle of this, head over to the properties, click on your properties. Please, if yours is not available here, you can enable it from the windows and click on properties. So all I have to do here on the properties, I have to unlink this. Okay, if this is selected, if this is highlighted, if I scale this, you notice the whole corners of the shape moves. So I have to unlink this and work on individual corners, setting this to around 30.30, this as well as 30 pixels as well. So that was how I was able to achieve these corners as well. Please take note of that. So that's for that. And for this as well, for this shape, all I had to do as well was to reduce the opacity. I made use of the same value of brown I used for this. Okay, so I just double click this, the value of brown here. I just selected this from around somewhere here to be precise, and we are good to go. So all I have to do was to reduce the opacity for around 90%. Okay, that was how I was able to achieve this in Photoshop. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this. If you do find this helpful, do well to like, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. Please, if you are new to the channel, do well to join the community by smashing the subscribe button and turning on the post notification bell. And for returning subscribers, thank you guys for always watching, and see you in the next.